Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Comparing Library Search Spaces workshop presented by Collier Library and Information Services. My name is Derek Malone. I am the University Librarian here at UNA, and I am going to guide you in this workshop through some of our different spaces on our website for different types of searches. I want to preface this workshop with the statement that this is pretty much entirely going to be on the library website. I'm not going to talk about search strategies or search reasoning off of the website. I'm just looking exclusively at the website and what you use the website for in different scenarios. So hopefully this can kind of guide you through different scenarios that you've encountered already or that you'll encounter in the future, and give you a place to go that will save you some time when you know the appropriate place to go for your search, whatever that may be. I created on a Word document here a few different scenarios or objects that we're going to look for. I have a book title, a video title, a research question, and a citation. And we're going to use all of those and find them via the library homepage. So this workshop could be titled Library Website 101, to be quite honest, because that's what we're doing. We're just getting familiar with what's here and then thinking about what are we searching for? So if you ask yourself that question, what am I searching for? What kind of information do I need? And you know where to go to answer that question, or at least to kind of develop that inquiry and use those search terms or those titles, that will save you a lot of time. So I'm going to go over on our homepage 8 different places that you can do different searches. So the first one I'm going to start out with is right here on the left, where it says under Library Home. And you can get different information about Collier Library, our hours, maps, policies, and so on, from going to Library Home and About. I'm not going to focus on those too much because of this Word document back here that has different scenarios that we're going to look at. But I just wanted to point out that if you need general information about the library Home and About tab will help you. And then, of course, any of our different social media links down here can help you with that too. So that's not so much on any search strategy or where to search, just where you can get general information. Okay, so let's dive in to some of the different scenarios we're presented with here. Also, if you have a question, feel free to ask it at any point in the chat. I am monitoring that on another monitor, so I'll look over and answer as we go through. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look for here is a book title. I have a book title here. I am going to copy that book title. I am going to go back to the library homepage, and I am going to use for these first couple of searches the library catalog. Notice that there are 2 tabs there at the top. One is Discovery, one is Library Catalog. We will come back to Discovery in a few minutes, but Library Catalog mainly illuminates or indexes and shows you what is in the building. There is some electronic content in here, some ebooks, for example, among some other things, but the idea of the catalog is kind of old school in a sense, in that it shows you what is in the building. So I'm going to go and say I've got a title here. So I'll go ahead and click title, and then I'm going to search our library with that title. And that opens a new page for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets as a title search. And you can see that I have different records there corresponding to that title. Notice that one right here says Collier Library, gives the call number and where it is in the juvenile collection. Same for Kilby Sewell. I said earlier that also there will be some electronic content in here like ebooks. Again, right there is a link to this in an ebook collection. So very, very briefly, the description of the library catalog, the mindset to have in thinking of searching through there is it an item that would be associated with the building? All right. Do I have something that I can find with keywords or title or author that I can go probably in most scenarios get off of the shelf? That was a book title. It's really no different with a video title. So I have Shape of Water here as a video title. I'm going to go in, search that. Let's say I was looking for this DVD. I'm doing a title search in the catalog. And once I'm in there, you see that what's this material type? It's a film. Where is it? It's in Collier Library with that call number. Okay. So same idea. Right here, you see again, same thing. So if you are looking for specifically physical material, again, there is some electronic content in here, but you're looking for that material that you can go grab off of the shelf. This is a great way to do that search. Again, if you have any questions throughout the entire presentation, please put them in the chat and I'll answer as we go through. So now we're going to go to a different scenario. That was library catalog. Quickly get to stuff. Pull a book off the shelf. Let's talk now more about a search from a research inquiry. So I have a research question here, and it says, how has performance improvement, it should be influenced instructional design? And I've got two terms that I've identified that I want to use in this search to find articles from journals or magazines or newspapers and build my research toward a paper. So let's say I have these terms. I'm going to start here with discovery. For me, the best way to think about discovery is we're going to look later about in databases that have subject specificity. Those are very specific. So if you were thinking about this in terms of retail stores, these databases are specialty retail stores. They sell one thing. So they're really good at selling that one thing. Let's say shoe stores, for example. Really, really good going there for shoes. But if you're not sure that you need shoes or something else, or maybe you need all of that and you want to get input from everything, you want to have a variety to choose from, well, Discovery's kind of that scenario. It is the general store that has a little bit of everything. A lot of our databases are indexed there. So we're going to start with Discovery. Underneath it, it says Advanced Search. This is the largest search that you can do, or the place that you can do the largest search through our library. And we're going to use our two search terms. So search term number one is performance improvement. And I'm going to copy that. And then number two is instructional design. I guess I should have left my D out. How does performance improvement influence instructional design? And now we're going to search. So notice first thing we see here, 1,000 results. The results in the library catalog very much based on where something is physically, right? Here, it's more based around access. Check here for full text so we can get to the article directly. Also, these are articles that we're seeing. Academic journal article, and so on, right? We can limit on the left-hand side over here to those different source types. If you wanted to limit to journal articles only, simply click that and it'll show journal articles only. You want magazines and journal articles, you could choose both. Also, there are a lot of other facets for limiting over here on the left side. Let's say I wanted this to be within the last 2 years. I'm interested in performance improvement and instructional design, but I want it to be recent. Then I'll limit to 2020 to 2022. I've still got my magazine and journal article limit on. And very quickly, I went from 1,000 results to 63. All right. Most of these, again, take note, journal article, journal article, journal article, journal article, PDF directly to it, the same, the same, the same. All right, so different search experience, but different search reasoning for going there. Now, the really cool thing about Discovery is it does index what's in our building. You could actually use it for the same reason that I used the library catalog earlier. That does not run vice versa, though. So this has a lot more indexed within it than the library catalog does itself. So if you were going to use one and only one, it makes much more sense to use Discovery. So I'm going to go back. We do have some other tutorials, by the way, if you're interested in using these records. So clicking on there, it's going to give you a lot more information in Discovery. A lot of stuff over here, for example. If you're interested in that, we have other tutorials and walkthroughs. Check our YouTube channel. It's got a lot of content that you might find interesting there. Okay, so Discovery, again, large place for searching, general store, right? Now we're going to look at those specific stores, those specialty retailers and databases. And we're going to click databases and guides, and we're going to choose a subject area. For this inquiry, I'm going to do education. If you're following along, you could check and look at another subject area, but I'm going to do educational research. And then you should see, no matter what one you're in, some best bets at the top like that, and then some more associated with that discipline content underneath. Really nice thing about this, each one of these databases, when it's listed on this site, has a description underneath of what is within that database. And then these best bets, we've ranked these here. So that's the reasoning for them to be higher. We have found them internally to have a pretty good relevancy toward that field. I'm going to choose Eric via EBSCOhost as the database that I'm searching. And I'm going to do the exact same search that I did back here with performance improvement. And instructional design. All right, so a couple things to note in this search in comparison to Discovery. First of all, it looks a lot like it. Note that it is different. We're in Eric versus Discovery from earlier. We did do the same search with controlled search terms. In the Discovery search, we had 1,000 results. Right from the beginning, we had 1,000 results. That's different here because we are in that specialized database. This is looking at education materials only. So because it's looking at education materials only, we only have 215 results. Also, because of that, our date range has changed a little bit. Notice that if this is the Discovery search back here, it has 63 results. Fine, that's our final number. If I made this, I can do the same kind of limits. Actually, I can do that, but there was only one in here from 2020. So if I want recency and comparatively, I've got 63 in the last 3 years here. I've got one in the last 3 years here. But I do know from an education point of view that this has that heightened relevancy before I even search. So if I want them from the field of education or educational research, this is pretty helpful to start there. Either way, I can narrow my result list with different limits. I can put journal content on it. Now this, because it is an educational research database, it does not have the magazines and newspapers that are overlaid back here in Discovery, but I can do different things with limits to get the kind of content I want in either place, Discovery or here. I've just, in this case, I have narrowed my search to education content versus discovery, where it's general content. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat box. I'll answer as we go along. Okay. So if we go back to the library homepage, I am going to show under databases and guides there. We're going to go to all database types, and we are going to focus on streaming video now. So this is a little bit of a different place for searching, where you could still emphasize this research question, but the content you're searching is going to be much different. So notice kind of same scenario with these comparatively to subject databases. You have the database title there, a description of what is included underneath, but the search interface is different and the results are different. So this one's academic video online. I am going to choose University of North Alabama. It's going to give me a search interface here. So in this, I'll just do performance improvement instead of performance improvement instructional design. So I'm going to copy and search. And everything I get here, because I'm in academic video online, is basically academically related. All right, there are other streaming video interfaces here. For example, there's a Shakespeare Plays interface that you could search through. There is a Films on Demand and Canopy, specifically Canopy and Swank, big time. Both of them have a lot of feature films. Canopy is more independent feature films. Swank is more popular feature films that we get requests for. But each one of these serves a different purpose. They can kind of be approached two different ways. Either one, by title, that looking for that exact material. That would be kind of a Swank search. You know you're supposed to go in there, look for a feature film, go in and find it. Or search with your research question in a streaming video database that will be related to your topic. So that's a great question in the chat. All of these are free to the user. They're the only one that has a different all-encompassing, we don't get charged by anything in the catalog differently, is Canopy. Canopy is mediated, though, by us because we do have to pay per film. Swank we buy per film, but it has unlimited use on the other side of things. Canopy, on the other hand, we do have to pay per film. But very happy to do that. If you have a course and you'd like to show a film, feature film specifically, let us know. We can get it in one of those two platforms. The other ones, in terms of research, if you're using Films on Demand or you're using academic video online, if it's in there, use away. It's no difference to us how much gets used. Great question. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit, go back to the home page, and we're going to do something that is often asked, and I think I'm going to try to give the most concise explanation for this on how to do it. I will probably also take a little snippet just of this part and do an even shorter video from it. But we're asked all the time about backtracking citations. If you have a DOI, which this has a DOI, and it goes directly to the vendor page for that article, if it knows you are affiliated with us and we have a subscription to that content, then it's likely going to show there. It'll show the PDF. You'll be able to download it, read it, use it as you normally would if you found it in a database search. Even more reasoning to have Lean Library, that extension, active in your extensions up here is because of that. It will at least recognize that you're UNA affiliated and give you direct access to open that article. And we do have a Lean Library tutorial that we did last week and is on our apps and downloads page. But let's say you just have the citation and you don't have the DOI and you want to know, do we have access to that content through our web page? It's pretty simple to find it if you know exactly what to do in your search. Here's the easiest way. Go to your citation and pick the periodical title. So I know that this citation here is associated with Nursing Outlook. It's Applications of Complex Systems Theory in Nursing Education, Research, and Practice. So I'm going to take Nursing Outlook out of that. And I'm going back to the home page, and where it says newspapers, magazines, and journals, I'm going to click that. And I am going to search for the title of Nursing Outlook, and it finds it there. So in that search, I get a record, and it gives me two different options. One says View Journal and Browsing. One says Science Direct Freedom Collection. You can go either way you want to in this. It doesn't really matter if we have it in browsing during that period. It's a pretty nice presentation. I'll show some more about browsing here in a minute. But if not, you know that we have 95 to present in Science Direct Freedom Collection. And the year I'm looking for is 2008, as you can see right there. So I'm going to go with that because I know that it should, by all accounts, be there. Once I get into that, I go into the Science Direct platform. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you have Lean Library running, it's going to know that we have access to this. So it's really nice off campus to be running that at all time in the background. But if you go to articles and issues, in all issues, it will give you historically what we have access to here. And I know that I am looking for 2008 and it's 56.5. So if I go back here and I go to 2008, 56, there is issue 5 right there. So now I am within volume 56, issue 5 of Nursing Outlook, and I am looking for page 248. So if I go back and see where I am here, I'm at 195, so I'll scroll down, and it's right here. Applications of Complex Systems Theory, Nursing Education, Research, and Practice. Boom, exactly what I'm looking for right there. I know I have access to it. Full text access is unlocked. I've got my PDF right here. Click Download PDF. And now it opens it in my screen. There's my PDF right there. Again, if you're running something, two things. If you're on campus and you just stumble upon this webpage, it should show that access. If you are off campus and you have Lean Library running, or maybe you've already logged in and it remembers that, it should show access. The DOI is really good in getting you directly to it via a browser, so it should show that access. But if what you have is based on this portion right here in your citation, take that periodical title. From that periodical title, newspapers, magazines, journals, and go periodical title, and then do your volume issue, and then find the exact one, and you're going to look for the page number from there. All right. I'm going to show 2 more search spaces before we conclude. The first one's right here in the middle. It says the Repository of Open Access Research. This is our institutional repository at the University of North Alabama. It is a collection of our internal scholarship. So if you want to see what different departments have here, or if you want to see different publications by a faculty member, or maybe you want to look for something to collaborate with a faculty member on, you can go to our repository. We launched a new repository interface 2 months ago in December of 2021. The interface of this is pretty simple. You can go to view all collections here, or you can look at the most recent editions. And if you do view all collections, you will get an interface that has different colleges and departments throughout campus. And you can click those. And then you'll see a listing here of different works within that collection. I can go further with this. I can click names. So if I click my name there, now I've got different listings, presentations and publications that I have done. Similarly, if you search by someone's name, you will get an interface very similar to this. You can click these. They're all clickable. And then once you're in, you will see metrics, the number of views and downloads associated with that. You can download citations, and you also can download the file. Down here at the bottom, it has the Creative Commons license associated with that to give you a heads up, and then different keywords. These keywords, by the way, also searchable back at the home interface when you're in there to exploring. These works can be shared with non-UNA affiliated individuals. It is, I will say this, this is very worth noting because I just talked about Lean Library and seeing access to things off campus. This is fully accessible off campus. This is not behind any credentialing. So anybody anywhere can go to this website. It's indexed in Google Scholar and Google. Anybody anywhere can find it and use it and search through it. So in that regard, yes, anybody can. There are also, you will see people associated with content here that are not necessarily University of North Alabama affiliated. For example, in this presentation, I collaborated with somebody from Harvard and then 3 different vendor places. That will include them too because they have been affiliated, or they were affiliated for that presentation's sake with me. It will not include anybody that any presentation that has nobody from UNA. There has to be somebody from UNA in that publication or presentation. But in terms of discoverability, worldwide, no login to get to this. Anybody anywhere can access it. Great question. All right, I'm going to round this out. I'm trying to get this around 30 minutes. So I'm going to round this out with one more search, or one more place for discovery. And that is a specific database, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, called Browsine. If you notice in our search back here when we did the instructional design and performance improvement search, there were a lot of links that said direct PDF in Browsine. So if you go to A to Z databases and you scroll down, you will see a listing here that says Browsine. Browsine is a really cool and clean presentation for academic journal content. It is one of the most friendly reader interfaces for academic journal content I have personally ever seen, and it's really easy to maneuver around. You do not search here with keywords. Like, I'm not going to put in performance improvement and instructional design because that's not what's searched here necessarily. The search here is around the subject area or the journal directly by title or ISSN. So let's just say subject area wise, I want to explore law and legal studies. And once I'm there, I'm just going to do law professional interests. All right. So I get a couple different presentations. I can look through all of these, or I can go further. Like I could go down to legal studies and subject area. And then anything that's associated with this legal studies heading is going to be listed over here on the side by default A to Z, or you can do a journal rank limit. So if I click journal rank, now I've got journals by ranking listed there or alphabetically. Again, this is not meant for anything other than a subject search or knowing the journal by title. So it's really nice and clean interface in that. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you just have a research question, this is not the place to go. However, if you like thumbing through different articles and journals in a subject area, this is an awesome thing to bookmark because it can help you do that, and the presentation's fantastic. Finally, I'll round this off by saying, if you're stuck at any point, you need help with your research, we're here to help you. Please reach out to us. We have under here our Ask Us box. You can ask us any question you like to. Any hour we're open. We have this staffed. So if you need help in the search interfaces, building a research question, or just even throwing out some ideas for research, you can reach out to us there. Also, if you want some personalized attention to that, some guidance through the research process, you can click Research Consultations here underneath Help. That is 30 minutes with a librarian. It'll be one-on-one, or you can do it in a group, and it can be either in person or via Zoom. We'll send you a link to that, and we can meet up, talk through the research process, identify what you're going to use for those searches, and then different places to search, much like we did in this webinar. I thank you for attending this. Greatly appreciate it. I will upload this, and then if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks so much. Have a great day.